action.
Hi, I'm Morah Chanah, Juliana Centuria, and this is Jonathan. And we're working on lesson 10 today to get ready for class this Sunday after a long break. I hope everybody had a nice winter break. How was break for you?
Good.
Yeah. Did it seem short or long?
So short.
Okay. Well, back to school, right? All right, so I've got two good words today, and I think you probably know them both. The first one is Havdalah.
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 Okay, and does that sound familiar?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's that giant candle that you dip in the wine.
Well, okay, so Havdalah is the word that we use to talk about the series of blessings that we say at the end of Shabbat. And there is that special candle. Do you know anything about it?
It has some sort of little twisted pattern.
It's twisted. You're right. It's 3 different wicks all braided together. They look really cool, don't they? They look different than a regular candle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right that you dip the candle into the wine. And we'll talk a little bit more about Havdalah and the tradition around it in the next few classes. Okay, so there's a new sound in that word, Havdalah. Havdalah. What's the new sound this week? V. V. That's right, like a V. V. Okay, so here's another word that has that sound in it. Listen carefully. Mitzvah.
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 Good. Now, I bet you know this word when I say it in English. Mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
Right, that sounds more familiar to everybody, I think. Mitzvah is how we say it in Be'ivrit, in Hebrew. So why don't you try it one more time? Mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
Okay, good. And do you know what that means? Mitzvah. You know, we say that word all the time at religious school. Do you know what it means? Like, we just had that big Hanukkah mitzvah day. What does that mean?
Like to do a good deed.
Yeah, kind of. But it's a little bit more than that. It's actually a commandment. It's something that we are required to do. Okay? Yeah. Okay, but you can hear the V sound in there, right? Mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
The V. Okay, it turns out in Hebrew there's 2 ways to make a V sound. Let's show them what they look like. 2 ways to make a V. Okay, here we go. Vet and Vav. Now, you know what? These look pretty familiar to me. Let's just look at the vet. What does that look like to you, Jay?
Bet.
It does, doesn't it? Did you know that it's the same letter?
Mm-hmm.
But what's different about this one?
No belly button.
No belly button. So we learned bait with a belly button. That's the dagesh, the dot that goes in the middle. When you take out the dot, you go from B to V. Exactly. Okay, so that one's pretty easy. It's just with no dot, it sounds a little different. But did you know that's actually the same letter? It's just that it has 2 sounds. Okay, wait. Do you know an English letter that has 2 sounds? Can you think of an English letter that has 2 sounds?
Oh.
Okay, our vowels have, but think of a consonant.
S. No. C.
Right on. I was thinking of C too because it can sound like k, k.
Or s.
Exactly. Okay, so Hebrew's got some of that too. 1 letter, 2 sounds. You put a dot or not, change the way it sounds. Okay, let's look at the other one. Vav. Okay, does that look familiar?
Yep. Except without the,
Oh, because we're used to seeing it as a cholam, like in over a dot with an O, right? The dot on top makes it sound like an O, right? Well, that's its own letter when it's on its own like that. There's no dot above it. That sounds like a V, V, like a V. We say that the Vav varies. You want to say that with me? The Vav varies. That's because the Vav does a whole bunch of things. And we're not going to talk about all of them right now. But Vav sounds like a V. Or if you put a dot above it, it sounds like an O.
What about a dot below it?
Well, if you put a dot next to it, like in right here, did you know that that sounds like another one of our vowel sounds?
No.
It makes an ooh sound on blue paper, and we're almost there, but we're not quite there. So don't worry. Just remember for today that Vav varies, okay? So we're going to learn lots of different things that Vav can do, but let's learn today that it's one of the ways we make a V sound. Okay, it makes sense? How do you know which V to use? How do you know if it's a vet or a Vav?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? It's just a matter of spelling. It's just a matter of learning the spelling. There's no trick to learn. There's no rule. It's just like just like we have two T sounds in Hebrew. It's just a matter of spelling. Okay?
Tet and tav.
Tet and tav. I'm not sure they can hear you at home. So tet and tav. That's right. Okay, good. So those are two good words to know, Havdalah and mitzvah. And there's one other pretty important, you know what, let's have everybody take a second just to make sure they know what those letters look like. And if you can pause right now, you're going to go to page 47 and get your pencils out and practice writing each of the letters. Should we show them real fast how to write them in the sky? Here, let's show them. Ready? Why don't you do left-handed and I'll do right-handed this time. Okay, here's the vet first. You go 1, 2, 3. That's pretty easy. Let's try that again. 1, 2, and 3. I hope you're following along at home too. And then let's do the Vav. This is super easy. You got that little tiny hook at the top and down. Little tiny hook and down. That's it. Pretty easy. Why don't you try now with your pencil on page 47. Try writing each letter and then try writing the new words too. And we'll be right back with you.